in wrapper, there's always binder, but there's also always filler. And in filler, there's some binder and there's some wrapper too. I mean, it's grown with a specific intent in mind, but ultimately what the leaf is grown as at this stage does not ultimately end up being what we end up at the factory level finally designating and sorting it to. Because you're always trying to make the maximum use of the crop in the best way possible. So you will always get wrapper, you will pull some wrapper out of filler. You absolutely will, even though it wasn't grown with the intent of being a wrapper crop.
This tobacco here has been grown with the intent for being filler tobacco.
Right. And most of it will be used.
If you're going to get binder and wrapper while you're sorting through it, you're not going to keep throwing it into filler.
Well, no.
Of course.
It's a bonus.
Yeah, it's a bonus. It's a gold star.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get penalized the other way too, just as equally.
Exactly. It all evens out.
Yeah. So in the end, it all evens out.
Just so you got, while we're in here, Kentucky fire cured. We've been hearing this term a little bit more in the cigar industry. At this point of the process for Kentucky fire cured, the tobacco is hung in these barns on a stalk. But instead of using charcoal, they use hardwoods. And they use hardwoods to bring up the temperature in the barn really high, quickly, to get an even color on the leaf right away. So they'll bring it up to high temperatures to get a brown color. And then after it is...
And what's the average temperature on that? Do you know?
105, 110.
I think it's a little higher, isn't it?
The initial stage?
Yes.
And then after they get it brown,
Yes.
then they throw hardwood sawdusts on to make it very smoky, and that's when they bring it up to 120 and higher, and that's where they really get that smoky. After that second firing, that's where they really get that smoky characteristic from the tobacco.
But the difference there is they're actually using the heat to cure the tobacco.
Yeah.
Where here, they're really just using the charcoal to wick out moisture. So it's incredibly it's a low heat for the most part.
That's the whole curing process.
And then another curing process that you guys have heard, obviously, is Candela. And Candela is done these days with propane burners. And you hang the leaf and you light up the propane burners in the barn. And it typically takes about 3 days total to do the full cure. And the temperatures typically range between 170 to 190 degrees to do the Candela. And the other thing about Candela that's unique is you then have no fermentation. Candela tobacco is meant to be smoked after it's been heat cured like that. So.